Hello, everyone. Welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Mr. Saurabh Agarwal, who is the founder of Growit, which is India's leading protective farming company, helping farmers double their farm produce and income. Hi, Saurabh. Welcome to ELI.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ranjan, for having me.
I would request you to introduce yourself to our audience, please.
Yeah, so I'm Saurabh Agarwal. I represent Growit India, and I'm the founder and CEO of the company. And we started this company in 2020, just before COVID. And yeah, we are here today.
Okay. Just to set the context, can you describe what is protective farming? What is this term?
Sure, sure. So everybody must have heard greenhouse, right?
Hmm.
So greenhouse is basically the graduation of protective farming, so to say. There are many other products that can be used for protecting the microenvironment around the crop. By controlling the microenvironment, we provide the plant with the conducive uh, conditions to grow better and give better yield. So
Hmm.
that is what protective farming is all about.
Okay. And uh, how can a farmer practice protective farming? What are the benefits? A little
So
more about it.
yeah, so basically any farmer can adopt it. Any vegetable and fruit farmer growing can adopt it. It's very easy and it is mostly DIY sort of a practice that a farmer can adopt it. For example, there are certain products like mulch films or crop covers,
Hmm.
agri wires, agri threads. So these are very common products. They are not any so to say ऐसा नहीं है कि उसको उसके लिए he needs somebody to come and install those products and use those products, but he can use it by himself. We teach them. We have a ground team to teach them how to use it, and the benefits are basically the to reduce the cost of labor, to reduce the usage of harmful pesticides, to reduce the overall usage of any chemicals or pesticides or fertilizers that he is using in the crop,
Mhm.
reduce the use of water because we stop water evaporation. So that is one of the major things. And then it reduces weed growth. Basically, weed is one of the biggest problems for farmers today, where farmers need to use either labor or either need to use pesticides to remove the weeds. So we remove it by controlling the photosynthesis process. So that is how we help them to eliminate that problem. And also a lot of fruit loss or vegetable loss because of bird pickings, animal pickings, all those kind of things are reduced. So overall yield is better. Consistent growth is
Mhm.
another thing, where a farmer gets good quality of produce, where all his produce gets qualified under A grade of quality. So because of which he fetches better price in the market. So that is a little more about protective farming. And
Gotcha.
we are present across all platforms, whether it is B2B, B2B2C, or B2C. So a farmer can avail it through multiple platforms, which makes it easier for him to buy and adopt it. We have multiple franchise stores, more than 225 franchise stores across 6 states.
Mhm.
So now we are increasing our franchise store to every taluka in India. So slowly and gradually, it will be available in every corner shop of India as a protective farming product.
Okay. When we speak of the products, can you tell us what are the different products we have? What is the portfolio?
Yeah, as I said, we have products like mulch film, crop covers, agri wires, agri threads. We have weed mats. We have insect nets. We have fruit covers, banana covers, plant covers, fencing. We have pet fencing, which is basically a replacement of GI fencing or barb fencing.
Okay.
Then we have something called agri thread. Then we have plastic clips, tomato clips. So these are basically all the products which help farmer support during his entire crop cycle.
Mhm.
For example, mulch film will support in reducing the weed problem, eliminating the water evaporation, helping in preventing soil erosion. Those kind of things. And a crop cover will help in basically protecting from the harsh environments, whether it is cold or hot, and also from bird pickings. Agri wire is basically a replacement of GI wire. Basically, a GI wire gets spoiled in 1.5 year, and a farmer, it is very difficult for them to reuse it. Whereas agri wire can be used for 4 years, so the cost goes down drastically. So these kind of things, and for example, weed mat is basically used for the places where a farmer walks between his field, so that even weeds do not grow in that area. An insect net basically is to provide protection against insects,
Mm,
because many insects which cannot fly over 3 4 feet.
mm,
So those can better the field. Those kind of things are there. So I think that's a little brief about the portfolio of products that we have.
got you. Uh, Tell us a bit about the distribution channels, as in how do you sell those products, and uh, agriculture is one of those segment where e-commerce and all modern trade practices have not penetrated well. So how did you crack the
Yeah.
distribution channel as a challenge?
Right. So we have a hub and spoke model where we have CNF centers across all states, and along with that, we open franchise in every taluka. So by having franchise in every 20 25 kilometer radius, what it does is it enables the farmer to come there and buy from that store. So we practically have a store in every 20 25 kilometers in 4 states at the moment. We're increasing that day by day. Idea is to have around 6 7,000 stores across India, so that it is available in every 20 kilometer radius. Why taluka is because every farmer needs to come to taluka once or twice a week, because that is where the mandis are, that is where the farmer gets most of his supplies and everything. So he is already coming to the taluka center for buying many other things once or twice a week. Any government offices, any panchayat meetings, all those happen at the taluka level.
Hmm.
So generally, taluka is the place where farmers come, and that is what we understood, and that is why we opened every store in one taluka. And the hub and spoke model helps us to reach to the farmers within 24 to 48 hours.
Hmm. Got you. Uh, would love to understand how it all started. Like you said, you started about 2 years back, and it was somewhere connected to your personal experience in farming. So tell
Yeah.
us about it, about the initial days. What was the hypothesis?
So basically, I had my own small farm where I was doing my farming as a hobby in 2017 18. But what happened is, that hobby started growing day by day, and that hobby turned into a passion. And when I started having multiple ideas about growing in my own farm, we were searching for products how to increase, the productivity and everything in my own farm. So because of that, we started looking for new products. We went to multiple countries to understand how better farming is done in those countries,
Okay.
and that is where we stumbled upon these products. We got some of the products from those countries and tried to work in India, but nothing worked.
Hmm.
So with our manufacturing background from our family business,
Hmm.
we started doing some tweaks in our own machineries and tried to manufacture them. And what we manufactured came to our results, and we gave some samples to the farmers to understand if it works for them or not,
Okay.
and they came back with good results. So
Hmm.
that is when we thought, why only stick to our farm? Why not the farmers of India? And that's when we realized it can make a huge difference to the Indian farming community by
Hmm.
adopting best practices and protective farming practices. They can have better results. So we found that India's yield per hectare or per acre is very low as compared to global average. So with using these products, one there are multiple benefits. One is that they move towards more organics or farming, and second is that they get better results, better income. So
Hmm.
doubling the farmer income or doubling their output helps. So I think that was the motive behind it, and that is where it started. So my younger brother, Akshay, who used to be designing the products, he's the expert in our company. So he designs the products, and I take care of all the sales, marketing, and finance. And so that's how we have come together and built this company.
Got you. Once you validated the products and you designed the products well, what was the next challenge? As in, was it the distribution, or was it the sourcing, manufacturing? What was the next challenge?
The next challenge was educating the farmers, because in India the farmers are not educated. So what happens is that what happens is that the farmer education is very important, and until you show them the results, they will never believe that this results can be achieved
Mm-hmm.
with such simple products and simple services. So in to educate them, we started having demo farms in many areas. So now we have one demo farm per district, where we have bi-weekly meetings for farmers to come and learn about this product, see the results, and that is where the adaptability started. So that was something new that we had to start. So that was the education was the biggest challenge, not distribution. I think distribution was easy to crack, but education was the biggest challenge.
Gotcha. Uh, uh, Tell us a little bit about the funding. How did you? Is there any funding involved? How did you scale up your operation, and what is the scale you're operating right now?
Yeah, so we couple of years, the first 2 years, we were completely bootstrapped. We did not do any. We had our own money been used in the business,
Mm-hmm.
and when we saw that we had to grow exponentially, that is when we started our fundraising. So last year was when we did our first fundraise, and we raised around 4 crore rupees last year, and that was at a scale already at a scale of 20 crore rupees of revenue. And now this year, with increasing revenue, we are doing another round. So we are raising some more funds, and at a much higher valuation, because of the results that we are getting. So the investors are also helping us build onto the business. They are not only bringing in money, but they are also bringing in strategic partnerships and strategic business opportunities, which is helping the company grow. So that is the whole idea of going into the funding rounds.
Gotcha. Any pivots that you have done to your business model so far?
Yeah, multiple pivots. So I think a startup is all about pivots, right? Easy to pivot and easy to change the plans and work on a better plan every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we pivot almost every day by seeing what the results are, by understanding what mistakes we are doing every day, and improving onto the results. I think pivot is actually a very misunderstood word here. I think people think that pivot matlab pura business plan change karna, whereas I think pivot is not but nothing but continuous improvement,
Mm.
right? Continuous improvement is also a sort of a pivot.
Right.
So first we used to do B2B, then we started B2B2C, then we started B2C.
Mm.
So it's not, I would not call it pivot, but I would call it improvements. So I think it's part and parcel of our daily work. I think that is what defines us.
Mm. What are some of the biggest challenges that you have faced so far while building and growing this venture?
I think the biggest challenge is, as I said, and making the farmers aware about these products, educating them, competing with the local competitors, because we don't have any organized competitors as such in this industry.
Mm.
We have very fragmented competitors. So competing with those fragmented people, with no precise agricultural policy being in place from the government. So those sort of challenges we have faced. On day-to-day front, yes. There is a huge understanding challenge with the farmers. Farmers, they think that since they are doing farming for 15, 20 years, they know everything about farming. But
Mm.
ultimately, farming is also a science.
Okay.
So that science needs to be understood. And the unfortunate part is that many farmers in India, since they are farming through lineage, the predecessors have been farmers and they are farming the same thing, they're following the same methods. Somewhere during the way, we lost the originality of the farming practices.
Mm-hmm.
There were many practices which were used by our ancestors, which were very good, but I think because of all the new age ready to use sort of products coming in, what happened is that farmers forgot the best practices, and
Mm.
bringing back those best practices through simple products and services is very important.
Right.
Obviously, tech is obviously involved. A lot of technology work is being done, but along with the tech, groundwork as also needs to be done as well, right?
Mm.
So it's I think it's a combination of groundwork, technology, and everything that comes together to bring in the best out of the farmers now.
Got you. How do you go about hiring in your venture? What type of people do you hire? And the way I understand is a lot of people who are competent, smart, work for corporates. They do not prefer working in going to the fields and working with farmers directly. So how do you find motivated, down to earth people for your venture?
Oh, I think it's all about creating the confidence in your team and building that faith in the product and the service and the company. So, since we deal with farmers, it is very important to have agronomists who are the people who understand agronomy.
Mhm.
So, we have more than 50 plus agronomists in our team. I think they are the ones who are responsible for the groundwork, for understanding the entire agronomy as a practice, and that's the team that we built. And there are people available also. See, all you have seed companies, pesticide companies, fertilizer companies, or many other multiple companies
Hmm.
already working with agriculture, right? So it's ऐसा नहीं है कि लोग नहीं मिलते हैं या लोग काम करने को ready नहीं है.
Hmm.
It's all about giving them the confidence that they are in the right place at the right time. I think if you give them that confidence, any industry or any sector doesn't matter. For
Hmm.
even for an FMCG employee or FMCG person, if you show him growth, if you show him the confidence that whatever he's doing is right, I don't think that's a challenge.
Okay. How?
So that's how
What?
we started hiring,
Got you.
and that's how we created our team.
Would love to know what are the different platforms you use to source your source the candidates for hiring. Is it some platforms like LinkedIn or Naukri, or how do you go about it?
Yeah, it's a combination of everything. Combination of references, LinkedIn,
Mm.
maybe some portals, maybe some agencies, maybe newspapers. I think it's a combination of everything. Universities, colleges, institutes that are in the rural areas. We have collaborated with many of the universities, which has helped us give get good people on board.
Mm-hmm.
So that has been a very instrumental thing in our hiring process. So I think it's a combination of everything. We can't rely on just one thing.
Got you. Uh, what are some of the failures that you have gone through as an entrepreneur?
Oh, many. I've built couple of businesses. I've sold couple of businesses. I've shut down one business. And this is, I think, my fourth venture. So the journey has been amazing in past 17, 18 years. And I think building onto businesses, exiting at the right time, I think that is something which is very important. What we understood over the period is that mistakes are bound to happen. As I said, it's part and parcel of the journey.
Yeah.
You will make mistakes, but you should be ready to change. I think the only constant is change.
Hmm.
So if you are ready to adopt to changes as per the time, as per the the market conditions, I think that you should be fine. You should be doing fine.
Hmm. What would you say is the meaning of entrepreneurship for you? How would you define the term entrepreneur?
I think entrepreneur is somebody who is ready to take on the challenge of every possible work in his own company or her own company. I think an entrepreneur should be ready to take up the challenge of any sector. An entrepreneur should be ready to face the challenges of external factors. Overnight a policy can change and it can change the way the business is done, right? So those kind of things. An entrepreneur should be an overall uh, responsible person for the entire company. And I think the biggest responsibility that an entrepreneur should have is to train his senior most team in the right manner so that he can pass on the mental at the right time to all the team members.
Hmm.
Because a business cannot be built by one person. I think a business is a team effort. So that team effort needs right kind of training and understanding of the senior team. So
Hmm.
I think that is one of the key aspects of an entrepreneur, to understand the requirements and the culture of his company. I think building that culture is something very important. Um, if you do not have the right culture in the company, then even good people can be of no good. So having the right culture is very very important, and I think that onus lies only with the entrepreneur. So he should be more focusing towards building the culture, the systems, the processes, because ultimately those are the things that are going to drive the company forward.
Hmm. Hmm. My final question for you: what would you say are some of the most interesting lessons that you have learned during the entrepreneurial journey that others can take away and probably apply to their ventures as well?
I think one of the very very important learning that I've taken over past couple of years is that uh, and then anybody in the company, maybe the entrepreneur or maybe the senior team, they
Mm.
should be ready to face the challenge head on. We should not run away. We should not pass on the mental to other people. We should not just delegate work and sit around in our offices and and think that the work will get done automatically.
Mm.
um, uh, Earlier when I started my journey, I used to work out of my office more, but then I realized that something needs to change, and I started moving out. Now I travel for almost 20-25 days in a month, and just because of that travel, the business is growing. The confidence of the employees, the confidence of the stakeholders, the customers,
Mm,
the entire chain increases more and more. So I think that is some one of the biggest learning for me, that I, as the entrepreneur, should be ready to take on the challenge, and
mm,
give the completely, probably 1,000% to the business. I think that is something which is very important. And the second thing which I learned is, if you really enjoy what you're doing, there is nothing that can tire you out.
mm.
Uh, so I think enjoying the work or being passionate about the work is one of the key things that a entrepreneur needs to have. Without it, you will fall apart very quickly.
Right. Okay.
Sometimes when we think that it is my passion, but it is actually not a passion. A passion is something which will not never let you sleep.
Mm. True.
If you can dream with your eyes open, I think that's what brings out the real passion in you.
Yeah, that's so true. On this note, we'll close the session. Thanks for your time, Saurabh, and it
Thank
was a
you.
pleasure to have you on our platform.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thanks.